Yeah. Okay. So, hello everyone. Welcome to episode number 9 in the series. The intention behind these episodes, I've started it in Feb 2025, back this year, because every time when CAs qualify, they face a lot of issue in understanding the profiles. Basically, because उनको काफी ज्यादा issue रहता है like what's exactly going in a particular profile. So my intention was to bring the recently qualified CAs who are the new ones and who have entered the profession and have been doing great in that particular profile, to invite them and to know about their profile and to build a bridge between them and the aspirants as well, to bring more clarity on the particular profiles. So it's episode number 9, and I've taken interviews on internal audit, Big Four articleships. A lot of profiles are there. You can see it on my YouTube channel. I will share the link later. For today's episode on investment banking, every time I conduct an episode, people will be coming into the chat box and they'll be asking questions. Like if I take on articleship, they'll be asking on investment banking articleship. For industrial training, investment banking industrial training. For CAS qualifying, then they ask about IB. So it's a like massively demanding role, and it has a craze uh, in the aspirants as well. So I definitely wanted to know, even I don't have that much clarity on the profile. I have never researched about it. I have not been into it. So I'm as curious as you guys. Some of you are already doing some certifications, and as you said in the chat box. So I'm a clean slide today. So it's completely on Keshav. He will give us the clarity today on IB. When I said, man, I want to take a session with you, he immediately said yes. Thank you so much, Keshav, for being here today. It means a lot to me for accepting the invitation personally. And I have been knowing him since we both were in the CA student journey. So since then, I have known him, and he's doing terrifically great. Absolutely splendid guy. So it feels amazing to bring him here today. And let me introduce him before we enter into this session. Uh, Keshav Gupta, he's a chartered accountant. He qualified in May 2023 attempt, clearing all his levels in CA in first attempt. And then he secured AR 36 in CA Foundation. He is presently working in JP Morgan Chase as a credit risk analyst in investment banking division. He has cleared level 1 of CFA, and we all know him as a very good content creator on LinkedIn with more than 84K followers. Splendid figure. He's also an academic mentor on Topmate and earlier on Aspire CA platform, where I met him when we were CA students. So thank you so much, Keshav, for being here with us today. So I want to listen to you before I get into the session with my questions.
Firstly, thank you so much, Sai, for such a not say that you were, more than happy you have. I would say, itna to banta hai aapka that you can invite me to any of them. So I am glad that you have invited me. Although you took almost 1 year to invite me,
अरे
and for that I'm not happy. But yeah, thank you so much for inviting me.
The profile had to come, man. Like, yes, I was building the craze of my episodes. Then I was like, सही time में एकदम बुलाता हूँ. Great. Thank you so much. So, yes, I do have lot of questions, guys. And please keep your questions with yourself. I will definitely take up all of your questions. But yes, I do have a lot. I think I will mostly cover all of your doubts in those particular questions only. So please listen very carefully, take a notes or keep writing something, because it's going to be very amazing interview along with discussion, and many knowledgeable points are going to come to us. So before getting into my IB related questions, I definitely want to know about your CA journey, man. So how did it start? Where did you find the motivation to enter into CA? And then how is it going till now? So just take us through your journey, amazing journey.
Yeah. So before that, I would like to thank our audience. Like we have around 53 people, including
Yes.
us.
Yeah.
So thank you so much to all of you for joining us. And I would say stay here till the end. I
Yes.
am trying my best to give you some sort of insights so that you can, get into your dream job or at least know more about this domain.
Great.
Starting with my CA journey. So to be honest, I guess eighth or ninth was the first class when I thought about doing CA. Initially, till class fourth, I wanted to become a doctor and then a software engineer.
Great.
And by eighth or ninth, I understood that science is not my cup of tea. So I ended up taking commerce, and CA is always fancied. It's always most looked upon, I would say, profession when we talk about commerce, and that's how I thought of taking this up as my profession, as my career option.
Great.
And post my class 12th, I appeared for CA Foundations. I also joined a regular college in Delhi University by then. And when I achieved, a rank in CA Foundation, I thought, it's better to focus on one thing. Although
Yes.
I would not recommend that to all of you, it always depends from person to person how they want to build their soft skills, their personality. I feel that I am already in a good place to be to start with. So I, went ahead with my CA journey. So my CA journey, as you know, was difficult, like it was for Sai or it was for everyone else out here.
Yes.
CA is never a easy course. It requires hard work, it requires passion. And if any of you or most of you are pursuing CA, remember one thing, you need to focus completely on that course and try to complete it as soon as possible. Because see,
Yes.
if you don't, it will take up your youth, which are your golden years. Even if you want to work, you want to start a good life, you want to have relationships, you want to do anything,
Right.
after 22 or 23, seriously, it becomes more and more difficult to study
Yes.
because other things also take up a big chunk of your life. So
Yeah.
I would say try to, focus all your energies towards this and complete it as soon as possible, even if you have to go into hibernation for a year or so.
Yes.
So yeah, I gave my CA and started my articleship, and then my CA finals. It was difficult. I started, with Nishika. I started that Aspire CA in which I
Hmm.
met Sai. So
Hmm.
the journey in small and short was very hard. It required a lot of hard work, and CA is a course which I would say requires more and more of hard work rather than, I would say, of course, it would require your brains out there, but nothing can be done with your brains if you're not doing that hard work.
Right.
So it's like a test match where you need to, keep scoring runs there, sessions after sessions
Right.
till day five. And it never ends before day five. Remember that.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was my CA journey in short. Post that, I got into, so I guess you must be covering how I got into this role, but just tell you in short, I started applying, and that also requires hard work because I applied for almost 200, 300 positions after clearing CA. That's a lot. And I
In-
know when I'm talking to people, they have applied for some 10, 12, in some 10, 12 companies. So, you are already killing your chances if you're not applying for the roles. I
Hmm.
never knew I would be shortlisted for this. I would get this role. But then I applied for it and prepared for it once I got shortlisted. So I would
Hmm.
cover that in the following questions. But yeah, in
Yeah.
short, that was my CA journey till now.
Great, great, great. One thing uh which is to be noted is like yes, you definitely need hard work, but you need consistent hard work as well over the years. It's not just 1 or 2 years, it's over a long period of 4 to 5 years, which puts you at the top. So that's amazing to learn, Keshav. Glad you made it up to here. It's very good to hear from you. So now coming to IB. Yes, as you said, you applied for a lot of positions, and it's the job process is definitely like it's time taking. It's a lot of stress. I think it's more than exams, to be honest. I think exams are nothing compared to the job process which we go through. Only qualifying CAs know the struggle in landing for a good job. So when did you feel that investment banking is for you? Like what motivated you to apply for that role, and what made you choose the particular domain?
To be honest, I don't want to, while doing CA, everyone more or less go gets to know about IB,
Hmm.
M&A, and everyone aspires to, at least be in that position. Firstly, because everyone knows that it pays you a lot.
Yes.
And that's the motivation for most of the people, if not all. And to be honest, that was my motivation as well. To be honest,
Hmm.
after completing my CA, as I told, I applied for almost 200, 300 roles. Every day I was. So I applied. I think I took around 100, days, and I was applying daily. Even, after appearing for my exams, the next day I started with my CV,
Hmm.
and post that, I started applying anywhere I could with that CV only. And
Right.
once I cleared, then though I just kept applying non-stop.
Hmm.
So I would say this was, if you ask me what made me choose, of course, I knew that, it's a good paying role. And in the end, we all are working for money. It's not that we are not working for money. So in the end,
Yes.
one was that. Secondly, when I, had a word with few people in this profile, in this domain, I felt that, accounting is not my cup of tea. And I knew it once I was doing audit. So I
Right.
wanted to get out of this domain. So the only domains I was targeting was either taxation, that to specifically direct taxation,
Hmm.
and the other roles I was going through was, valuations, investment banking, and related roles. So that was my only motivation, that I never wanted to do accounting or auditing or related roles like that,
Hmm. Okay.
apart from money, of course.
I get it. And then, like, what were the sources? Like, how did you find the, like, as you said, you applied for 200 to 300 positions. So, what were the sources where you found the job resources and then you applied for it? Like, what websites or apps or any social media you used? How did you go through that job
So
process?
I would say, yeah, yeah. So I would say, firstly, see, job hunting, especially in today's world, is not easy. The markets are really bad at this moment. If you
Yes.
guys are, students, you would not be having that idea, but job markets are really bad at this stage.
Hmm.
So I would say, firstly, try to get references. They help you a lot when you want
Right.
to get in a job.
Right.
I would say, so when I joined JP Morgan, there were four people in total as a CAs they hired. So they hire around 20, 25 people in my role, out of which only three or four are CAs. The rest are
Okay.
MBAs from top 10 B schools.
Okay.
So out of those four, like I was one of them, and the rest three had references. I was the one who never had a
A
reference for
reference.
JP Morgan, to be honest. And
Great.
people might think that it's a lie, but to be honest, I never knew like exactly what kind of role it is, and applied through the portal.
Great.
Once I, got the call from, like, a group discussion call from there, then I tried to find out people who are working in this role to get to know about what exactly is
Hmm.
this. But I would say the rest of my offers which I got mostly were from referrals.
Okay.
So referrals always work. Try to get people who might be, be referring through you the portal, or
Yes.
if you can get, let them send your CV to the HRs or the hiring managers. That helps a lot more than getting a referral on the portal. Firstly is that, so for that you need to use your LinkedIn, because it's quite difficult that you know all the people in your desired companies. So
Hmm.
use your LinkedIn, start cold messaging them. You might have to message around 6 to 7 people from one company, and you might get an answer from one of them. You might not, but that shouldn't stop you from cold messaging them. I would say, yeah, apart from this referral process, LinkedIn jobs are there. start applying
Yes.
through it. It might not be that effective way, but applying is the best place, and it also gives you an idea about if there is an opening or not, so that you can send that opening with your CV to the concerned person. Because see, on a daily basis, I'm receiving around 50 to 100 messages
Hmm.
where people are asking me for referrals, but they don't have any idea where they want to get referred. And my issue is that I can't refer anyone and everyone like that. At least I want a job opening and your CV. So,
Yeah.
draft your message properly, send the job ID and send your CV together to that person, so that in case that person opens up your message, he or
Hmm.
she, in very less time can refer you. Because
Hmm.
once I open a message and I cannot find the relevant details, I, send up a follow-up message, and then that person sends me a message again. It takes a lot of time, and sometimes I
Yes.
don't reply back because, I get another bunch of 25, 30 messages. Remember
Yeah.
that in your brains. So
Yes.
start, looking at LinkedIn Jobs, start looking through Naukri and IM Jobs as well. Those two
Hmm.
portals are good. You get a lot of converts, especially from IM Jobs if you want to go into finance.
Hmm.
So I would say these three, and apart from that, if you have idea about a desired company, for example, you saw my profile on LinkedIn and you want to get into it, but you cannot find any openings on all these portals, go to
Hmm.
JP Morgan's career page, start looking for profiles. If you find an interesting profile for yourself, apply it there or get a referral. So if you are not able to get a referral, at least apply it from there. Which two
Right.
portals? IIM Jobs, Naukri, then LinkedIn Jobs, and the career portals of various companies.
Yes.
You have to refer to all of them, and do not get demotivated. Job hunting would take a lot of time. It's not a day in, day out process. Sometimes you will be going to, the final rounds, and still you won't be able to get any answer from the HR. They will ghost you, and that's very normal. I have been through this. I have interviewed for many roles. So let me tell you an interesting story. After, my second round of interview with JP Morgan, the HR ghosted me. So the HR came back to me saying that I have an interview on this Thursday. Next day, I got another call that, I won't, the interview's not going to happen on Thursday, and they will be scheduling it for Friday. So I was like, हो जाएगा, and then the very next moment they will ghost you for a month or so, and you can't do anything about it. And
Hmm.
then, after a month, they came back to me that, okay, now we are having a second round of interview. So you
Yes.
don't know what's happening behind the doors. You can't guess it. You just need to have that patience.
Right.
So, yes, I guess you would have to do that. And if you want to know, what's the job process, or, what's the interview process? So I have told
Hmm.
you already about the job process, how you want to do.
Yeah.
And if you want to know what's the interview process, mostly the interviews which I have given till now into finance, very less, or I would say only one or two had GDs.
Okay.
The rest would start from the technical rounds. So
Hmm.
GDs are not that common nowadays, especially after, COVID, where virtual interviews have become a thing. And
Hmm.
like Amit wants the topic of discussion for the GDs, I guess. I hope so.
Hmm.
He's not asking for the topic of discussion for this session. So yeah,
Yeah.
so the topic of GDs.
I thought the same.
Yeah, so the topic of GDs, can be varied. It's sometimes it's sometimes abstract topics like, once you found a stone on the road, what do you do? What will you do with that stone? I have heard this topic coming into a GD, not mine, but my brother is pursuing his MBA from MBI Gurgaon, so he had that topic
Okay.
yesterday only for
Okay.
GD. So you can get varied topics on on GDs. It can be anything and everything. Sometimes it can be finance or the role related. In that, you would get a case study, and based on that, the GD would happen. So you
Okay.
need to be prepared for everything in GDs,
Yes.
and it can be anything, to be honest. You can always, because it's a virtual one, I would say, at least till the times it's a virtual one, you can always have advantage over the physical ones, because in
Hmm.
physical ones you're not allowed to use your mobiles as well.
Hmm.
So that's the thing.
Yeah.
I guess we can take the out of topic doubts in the end,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
Sai?
We'll take the questions at the end. So
Yep.
we'll discuss first questions.
Yep.
Yeah, and how did you prepare for the GDs? Like, what websites or resources did you use to study the topics?
To be honest, I used only ChatGPT. I would say it's a very good source to study anything at this moment.
Yeah.
You just need to use it the right way.
Okay.
There are various sites which you can always use, but they are not customized according to your needs. You can always,
Hmm.
upload your CV. You can always upload that JD and ask questions for technical GD as well as non-technical GD. It will give you how you can start it. It gives you a structured answer
Hmm.
vis-a-vis if try to look at various sources, they are not that effective and they are more time consuming. So I
Yeah.
would say refer to AI when we have it.
Okay. And so you had GD for JP Morgan, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What was the topic for that your role? Like when you had the GD?
So we were given a technical case study
Okay.
on IBM credit risk. So it was a mergers and acquisition transaction in
Okay.
that JD. I don't remember the industry right now because it was
Hmm.
like 2 years back. Yeah, so
Okay.
it was an industry, and we were asked 4 to 5 questions. Few
Hmm.
were so accounting in general is a very important aspect of this domain. Not,
Hmm.
I would say not accounting, but interpreting the accounts is a very important aspect of these roles always.
Hmm.
So one or two questions were on that, working capital, capex, EBITDA. So all these
Yeah.
things were there. And the other one question was regarding, checking the strengths and weakness for the company. And the last one was regarding calculating some financial ratios, as far as I remember.
Okay. Okay. That's a like that's a different way of
Yeah,
organizing a
there were,
GD.
so it was like a half an hour to 45 minutes of group discussion in which the first 15 minutes were for us to read the case study, and
Hmm.
the next half an hour were for discussions. So each question had around, 10 minutes, I would say, for
Okay.
discussion.
How many people were there in the GD?
Mm, I guess there must be around 15, 20. We can ask
Okay.
this to Harshita as well if she remembers. Harshita, do you remember that? How many people were
For
in
my
GD?
JD, I do remember because they had shortlisted 50 people, and then they
Okay.
had five split it across five JD groups. So each
Okay.
group had 10 people, and then they
Okay.
shortlisted maybe one or two people from each JD group for the next few rounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
so there
Great.
must be around 10 people.
Okay. That's a good ratio. And okay, so first you had technical round, then you had GD or GD
No,
or
firstly,
first,
firstly for me it was a GD,
then technical.
because you see, then it's usually, if it's not a technical round, it's usually a GD where they, filter out the applicants.
Hmm.
And then there were uh, interview rounds, the technical
Okay.
ones.
Okay. So coming to the interview. So take us through your interview
Mhm.
process and how did you prepare for it and your experience as well? Like what exactly were asked to you in the interview? Both.
So my interview was completely technical. So usually HR rounds are not like, Sai would also agree with me that the HR rounds nowadays either happen in the end when you need to talk about
Hmm.
your compensation and all. So then
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
short
Hmm.
HR round happens, or it's usually when the HR calls you, then they assess you in,
Yes.
like 5-10 minutes. But
Hmm.
otherwise, we do not have HR round these days.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, so my technical rounds are mostly, I would say I would divide it into two parts.
Okay.
Firstly, they were asking me about my CA journey.
Yeah.
They were checking my soft skills.
Okay.
They were checking how much idea I had about, CA topics. Especially, they asked me on, finance and what we called AFM or SFM these days. So
Hmm.
that aspect was tested. Secondly, I was asked role specific questions where they asked me. So firstly, they came to me with an industry. I remember firstly it was an oil and gas industry,
Okay.
and they asked me if I am analyzing that industry for from an M&A perspective. What are the risks
Okay.
I see in this industry? So one
Good.
question was that. Secondly, they grilled me on EBITDA because EBITDA is a very important matrix in this industry. So
Hmm.
they grilled me upon EBITDA, why it is important, why we choose it over PAT or EBIT, what are its advantages.
Hmm.
So it's a detailed one on EBITDA and the financial ratios as well. So
Okay.
in both the interviews, it was more or less on the technical aspects. And I never had a third round of interview, but some
Okay.
people did have that as well. And that's usually MD round or what we called is the airport check round,
Okay.
where if so why it is called a airport check round. So if you have to spend around 50 minutes or 30 minutes before your flight at the airport with that person, would you be comfortable enough to have a conversation for those 30, 35, 40 minutes with that
Okay.
person? So that's why
Okay.
it's called a airport check round, where they assess your way of thinking. Because see, in the first two rounds of interview, you're already tested upon your technicals. Now it's all about whether you are fit for the organization or not.
Hmm.
So they try to check your way of thinking, they try to check your ethics, they try to check you as a person. So that round can have questions like, you know, once I was asked a question on, explain to me a process of making a LinkedIn post.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and in a structured way, because, that person told me the intention behind asking the question as well, that, this role would require you to, explain people a lot about processes. It will, so this role will also require you to explain other people what you mean to, and if you can't explain this, or he actually gave me an option to explain me any process. So I
Hmm.
chose the process of making a LinkedIn post. But
Hmm.
this is how they would test you. So this is completely out of the box if they ask you something
Yeah.
like this.
Hmm.
So you can be asked anything. You can be asked, in one of the interviews I was asked the square root of 26.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so you can
Okay.
be asked about that. You can be asked broader questions about how, the markets are performing right now. You can be asked
Hmm.
to pitch a stock to them if you're getting into a finance role.
Hmm.
That's one of the questions which I've encountered 3, 4 times, to pitch a stock to them
Hmm.
or pitch an industry to them. If you say that okay, you're not following any particular stock, and they would if you're going into investment banking, or if you're going for any sort of similar role in the finance field, then you would be expected to know a bit about the markets as well, and how the industry is performing. So yes, you can be asked all that.
Great. So many. Like you just went in a flow, but there are so many points to note down, guys. I hope you guys are there with the notes because a lot of points are being told by Keshav. And how much duration? Like were the interview rounds?
So to be honest, it depends. Mostly it's like minimum 30 minutes.
Okay.
Sai, is my voice breaking in between or what?
Yeah, sometimes it's lagging, but otherwise, yeah, it's
Mhm.
understandable mostly.
If it's again, I might, turn off my camera if that helps.
No, no, it's okay. It's
Okay.
not, yeah, you just continue.
So I would say at least it's of 30 minutes. It can
Okay.
range up to 45 minutes. So once I went for an interview, it was a physical round of
Hmm.
interview where you, after three, 4 rounds virtually, they asked me for a physical round, and they like I was into back-to-back rounds of interview for like 4.5 hours.
Oh my God.
So like
It's very
different
long.
rounds. Firstly, it
Hmm.
was a case study solving round. Then it was, this MD round. Then it was a
Hmm.
team round. Then finally
Hmm.
it was a case study discussion round. So, but
Hmm.
each round is usually of 30 to 45 minutes. You want or max, 1 hour, but usually it's like 30 to 45 minutes. That's enough for anyone to, give it a yes or no.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for these insights. Uh, Now let's get into IB profile. See, consider me as a student or a person who has nil idea about IB. You are just explaining it to a commerce guy. What is IB in simple terms? Like, yes, people do have craze and want to enter in this field. So, can you please explain us this domain? What exactly happens in this domain? How many ends are there if you have idea, like the front end, back end, or what happens exactly? So, just
Okay.
take us through this.
So, Sai, first tell me what's your understanding of IB. I want to know because you might be,
I'm having zero.
representing the audience.
I'm zero. I'm zero.
Still, whatever your understanding is regarding IB, you can tell me, and then I will start from there.
Uh, See, if you go with the terms like the investment and banking, like I think it is related to the stock market or the I mean, how should I say? The companies are being getting listed, and then you help with them through that investment banking or something like that. That
Okay.
much idea I have,
Let me
but
let me
yes,
let me give you a broad idea of what
yeah,
investment banking is.
yes.
In simple words, it's brokerage.
Sorry, it's
Okay.
sorry,
So have
it's
you heard about the terms buy side and sell side? I am
He said
saying in
it's
simple
brokerage.
words.
okay. Brokerage, you
Wait.
said. Okay,
Can you
okay.
can you hear me now? In
Yeah, yes.
Yep. I'm saying that it's like brokerage. In simple
Okay.
words, what investment bank does is,
Hmm.
so it helps two companies. One is the acquirer company, one is the
Hmm.
seller company to
Yeah.
meet each other and help them,
Okay.
have that process of merger or acquisition.
Okay. Very good. It. Yeah.
In
Hmm.
very, very simple words.
Hmm.
And you must have heard of, two sides, a buy side and the sell side.
Yeah.
Buy side are PE firms or VC firms where the people are
Hmm.
actually buying those stocks.
Yeah.
So that's why they are called the buy side people.
Got
And
it.
investment banks are called the sell sides because firstly they help the sell side company. See, you
Hmm.
can't help a buy side company which is a very big private equity company like KKR or GIC or BlackRock.
Hmm.
You need to help the smaller companies
Yes.
because they needs your advice. So
Yes.
you need to help them to find a buyer for their stocks.
I got
Or
it.
sometimes what investment bank does is that they underwrite the IPO, which you were saying that
Hmm.
they underwrite the IPOs, they underwrite the purchase of the stocks, and
Hmm.
then they sell it. So that's
Okay.
why investment banks are called sell sides because they take that risk on their books
Okay.
for short duration and then they sell it.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's what an
Good
investment
idea.
bank is. It is a
Okay.
very broad domain.
Hmm.
So most of the investment banks are into banking as well. JP Morgan is essentially a bank in US. It
Yes.
started, it is like HDFC of US. It's the biggest
Hmm.
bank there. It's the world's biggest bank in that
Yes.
sense. And it also provides investment banking services for which
Yes.
it is known more than banking in,
Hmm.
broader world,
Hmm.
where it gives, mergers and acquisition advisory. They helps companies find a buyer for their
Hmm.
stocks. They
Hmm.
help in underwriting of stocks during IPOs. They help on that side where they invest into. So most many of times when a big company is buying a small company,
Yeah.
the bigger company does not have funds at that moment as well.
Hmm.
So it gets M&A loans or what we call bridge loans for that
Okay.
purpose.
Okay.
So JP Morgan provides those bridge loans
To the buyer
uh,
side. To the
to
buyer
to
side.
the buyer side
Yeah.
when the buyer is not a fund but for a bigger company. For example, you see, if Zomato wants to buy Zepto at this stage, for
Hmm.
example, Zomato is a
Hmm.
bigger company but it does not have those funds. So
Hmm.
Zomato would take loans from JP Morgan, get
Hmm.
mergers and acquisition advisory, helps in valuation, in all sorts of legal, financial due
Yes.
diligence work. So JP Morgan provides all these services.
Great. Okay. Yeah. And actually, earlier in episode number 4, I think I took the interview for FDD profile, financial due
Mm-hmm.
diligence. I think
Hmm.
it's mostly related to this activity. Is there is some difference in investment banking and FDD? Do you have idea regarding that profile?
Yes. So what financial due diligence is?
Hmm.
So due diligence is also a topic in our, CA. We have it
Yes.
in
Yes. Yes. Yes.
due diligence means going through the accounts in a deeper way, not from audit perspective, but from understanding how the company is performing.
Okay.
So ऑडिट में हमारा जो पर्सपेक्टिव होता है वो चेक करना होता है कि आर द अकाउंट्स मेड इन अ राइट वे,
Hmm.
इज इट ट्रू एंड फेयर. बट ड्यू डिलिजेंस में हमारा कोई अकाउंटिंग पर्सपेक्टिव से काम नहीं होता. इट्स मोर फ्रॉम एनालाइजिंग द कंपनी, हाउ
Yeah.
द कंपनी इज परफॉर्मिंग,
Yeah.
how its future projections are looking like. And उसके end users जो होते हैं, they are usually sometimes when even when we are getting during the course of M&A, we also do get due diligence reports from
Hmm.
these big fours or
Yes.
companies like A&M, which are into financial due diligence, and we make use of those reports as well
Hmm.
because they
Hmm.
go deeper into. They take a lot of time. They take around 3-4 months to analyze the accounts. They have advantage on the information side as well, because sometimes investment bankers are hired either, more likely they are hired in a M&A deal by the bigger company, so we are not technically representing the company that is being acquired, so we have a limitation on the information side as well. So
Okay.
financial due diligence is that role where you are hired by the company that is getting acquired,
Yes.
or
But
maybe the acquirer company as well, but they go deeper. They look at how the company is performing. They also sometimes get access to their accounts and everything.
yeah. So they analyze the sell side companies, right? Like you took the example of Zomato and Zepto. So they will analyze
Mhm.
Zepto and then they will give you the reports, as you said.
Yes, they will analyze Zepto in detail. They will start about how
Hmm.
the company is, who are the promoters, who are the shareholders, how the financial profile looks like, how the industry looks like. So we would
Great.
get all that information and in detail commentary on the financial aspects as well,
Yeah.
because they go deeper into the financial side. And that's why you will see the major accounting firms, they are into FDD. So you will see the big fours are into FDD at core. And FDD is one profile where CAs are hired in a very good number.
Hmm. Yes. Yeah. I've seen from the Big Four, lot of people get hired in that profile. And like in IB, like mostly MBA and CAs you find, but in FDD you find CAs generally, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
In FDD, you will mostly find CAs, but
Hmm.
in IB, you will mostly find MBAs.
Yeah.
There are the CAs are, I would
Hmm.
say, you will very, there are very less CAs, and the CAs who are there, they are mostly, what I have seen is that they firstly complete CA, then they get into a good B school, and then they enter IB.
Hmm.
And that's a very good path as well. If you get into the top, after CA, if you get into the top three
B schools.
business schools, IMABC, or
Hmm.
even the top five ones, that's a very good, I would say you can always do that.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing to do.
Great, great. Thank you for explaining it, Keshav. I got the whole idea about the domain. Thank you so much. And now coming to the department of IB, like what's the structure of your team or your uh, like the workplace where you work? If you can take us through your team and the hierarchy you have. So how does it happen from the level one to the top? How does
So
it
I would
work?
say the team structure is more or less like what you see in consulting.
Yeah.
We have analysts, we have associates, then we have VPs, EDs, and MDs. So,
Okay.
in a deal, it's usually a team of three
Hmm.
people.
Okay.
It's one ED, it's one VP, and then
Okay.
it's either of an analyst or an associate. If the
Okay.
deal is very big and we have very less time, then it can be like we have both analyst and an associate. So the teams are usually small in that. So that's why, with such small teams, you need to put in a lot of hard work
Okay.
for such kind of deals. And usually the timelines are also restricted
Hmm.
because, the when the company, hires us, they have it in mind that they need to, publicly announce it by, for example, XYZ deal.
Okay.
So when merger and acquisition transaction happens, it's usually like both the companies promoters have already talked about, this merger, and now they need an expert to, come to a valuation and do all the financial and legal work. So they hire legal advisors, they hire financial advisors who are usually investment banks. So
Okay.
the deadlines are from the client's end.
Hmm.
So they are usually tight and you need to do a lot of work, which
Yes.
which might not be there in other profiles.
Hmm. I get it. And then coming to the subjects, like what are the subjects which you come across in your domain, like while you're working? Like if I can say, I think SFM or AFM does
Mhm.
usually play a role, or what are the other subjects you come across, the theoretical part which we study during our CA?
Mhm. I would say, see, in my around 1.5, 2 years of experience in this domain,
Hmm.
I would say your SFM part would always be very much necessary
Yeah.
because, I would say it would be not only SFM, but a combination of FR and SFM
Okay.
because let me tell you what my day-to-day work is.
Hmm. Hmm.
As
Hmm.
an analyst,
Yeah.
I am, aligned to a deal and
Okay.
I need to start, analyzing the company, its financials.
Yes.
So analyzing the company would require understanding what business it does. For that, you don't need to have any degree at all.
Hmm.
It will only be your own understanding of how a business operates. You
Right.
need to, uh, gather data from public or private domains. There are some portals which we have access to, which we use for our research purpose. And then we have the financials, the annual report of the company, which we need to read. For that, if you
Okay.
have made financial reports, have gone through accounting part, then it's very easy for you to read the numbers. You can easily see and understand how cash. So cash flow is a very important
Yes.
financial statement, and you know that
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
the
Hmm.
focus. If you actually need to understand how the business is operating, I would say firstly, I would go to the cash flow statement rather than balance sheet or P&L of a company.
Hmm.
And for to understand a cash flow statement, you need to, कैसे move कर रही है cash flow statement, that you can get an idea from P&L and balance sheet. And ये सब तुम्हें जब भी समझ आएगा if you have a very good idea about how accounts are made. So firstly is that. Secondly, for modeling and all perspectives, you need to have idea about valuation. So आप
Okay.
किस part में हो, of course, in the broader finance world, it will
Hmm.
depend. But valuation will always play a very important role if you are in this domain. Both
Hmm.
debt and equity valuations, you need to have an idea about any of them. So I would say those two would be the key ones
FR and
as
SFM.
subjects, which, but see, it's like understanding the business, understanding the small technicalities of that business. So, sometimes my tax knowledge helps me because I know, okay, this happens in Indian accounting or
Hmm.
Indian taxation. So this can help me. Or so once I was, reading about going through a company, and I
Hmm.
knew these are the tax provisions which are applicable on that company. Sometimes it's that, sometimes it's FEMA, because once I was handling a deal where an Indian company was going to acquire a Singapore-based company, and
Okay.
for that it was a very complex transaction structure wherein the company would first flow to India and then flow back to Singapore. So FEMA was used, the ODI circular of RBI and all that was used. So mostly is that sometimes company law also. So they accounts and FMM are the ones which are used on a day-to-day basis.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for explaining it in an elaborate way, Keshav. I'm getting all the points here which you are saying. And now, getting into the client handling process, like how does it happen from the start to end? So from onboarding till you finalize the report. So how does it generally happen? And I think the time period depends on the size of the client, but otherwise, what's the process? If you can just take it in brief.
Okay. So let me tell you what my day-to-day work is.
Yeah.
So, IB is a very broad domain. It's not
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
small one. In
Yeah.
one deal, there are at least 4 to 5 teams that are involved.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I am into credit risk. So,
Okay.
there are front-end investment bankers that, get us clients.
Hmm.
So it's
Hmm.
their work. They are like the relationship managers for the bank who,
Okay.
try to get clients for us. So
Right.
once they close a client, they come to us with the client and they dump all the data to us.
Hmm.
Our work starts where, we start with the technical aspect of the deal, where, we start with the understanding the structure, work with. So there are two, three more teams, debt capital market teams, equity capital market teams. So there
Yes.
are a whole bunch of, and one is specifically M&A deal that is into structuring for the transaction. So in such banks, there are usually
Okay.
different teams that handle different uh, aspect of a transaction.
Hmm.
So,
A lot of things.
work,
Yeah.
we work with all those teams. We, get on a call with a client. So in my last deal, I was getting on a call with a client on a weekly basis. We were talking about, we started the due diligence process. We had queries as well with the client. We used to talk on deadlines and everything. So the client engagement starts from the day the client, the team pitches to the client, and they inform us that they are pitching to the client. Are we comfortable on doing this or not? So that happens, and on a day-to-day basis, we engage with the client. And this engagement happens, I would say, not till the day deal is closed, but after that as well, because most of the times the bank is also lending in such deals.
Hmm.
And once we have an exposure to that client, we have an ongoing monitoring for that client. So it's an annual process thereafter.
Great. Okay.
Because you see, the bank never wants the client to go out of its broader domain. Because see, a deal is a very small duration thing,
Hmm.
like a three
Hmm.
or a 6 months thing.
Yes.
But
Yes.
what happens after that? So the bank not only pitches the M&A thing, but also, sometimes pitches a hedging product or a debt product or IDOD line, like a
Hmm.
intraday overdraft line. So these kind of debt products are also pitched together with those deals, because see, the companies also require a lot of money while in the merger and acquisition process. So they are
Hmm.
already in need of that.
Money.
So
Hmm.
sometimes it's a bridge loan that is converted into a term loan thereafter.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's a working capital loan. So the relationship never ends.
You retain the customer. Yeah. Hmm.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So simultaneously, many teams will be working on a particular deal. and
Hmm.
you simultaneously handle all of them at once. Okay.
What,
Okay.
can you repeat your question? I couldn't get
No,
it.
no, I didn't ask anything. I was just
Oh,
saying
okay, got it, got it, got it.
you simultaneously handle many teams.
Yes,
So
yes, yes. I need to
okay.
talk with a lot of people on a
Yeah.
day-to-day basis. Then
Yeah.
that's why it requires a lot of work during
Hmm.
when you get such deals apart from your day-to-day BAU work,
Yes.
because the BAU work keeps going and you need to focus on that
Hmm.
specific deal as well. So it requires a lot of work. Like you can expect 12 to 16 hours a day if you're aligned on
Easily.
a deal, and even your weekends can go away if the
Yes.
deadlines are very short.
Right. So just take us through the pros and cons of joining this profile. And also your work timings. I just get it that yes,
Mhm.
it definitely takes long. So just take us through both of the things, pros and cons, and your work timings. How do you manage the pressure? How do you maintain the work life thing?
Okay.
Yeah.
So see, pros and cons, I would say firstly, pros are that if you're talking about my role at JP Morgan, firstly, you are getting associated with a very big brand. First,
Yes.
that
Yes.
always is a pro.
Yes.
Secondly, this profile is very good. It helps you to understand how businesses are operating. You
Yeah.
need to read a lot in this profile. You need to talk to the clients. You need to talk to with many teams. You need to talk with
Yes.
relationship managers.
Yes.
So that's a very good thing in this profile, I would say. Uh, I would say thirdly, it gives you a good, like it will give you a lot of money and it will give you good exits as well.
Yes.
So that's a very big con of this profile as well.
Hmm.
So these are
So
the
very good
basic,
cons. Yeah.
yeah, good cons. And if we talk about cons, I would say sometimes it's very time taking. You need to give in a lot of time for this profile.
Yes.
Secondly, depending upon, so like as I said, investment banking has a lot of roles.
Hmm.
So if so, interchangeability in these profiles is not that easy.
Okay.
If you are
Inside
into,
inside IB domain you are saying.
yes, even
Okay.
see in any job, if you get into, and if you are spending 2, 3 years in one role, it's quite difficult to change your role in
Yeah.
general. And see, in corp finance, it's easier that
Hmm.
you keep on rotating from for example, FP&A to treasury, treasury to sales finance.
Yeah.
But in such roles, it's not that easy to change your profile. So, for example, if you want to get out of it, it
Hmm.
won't be easy.
Okay. Okay.
And even if you want to get into, for example, the frontline investment bankers who are into sales, if you want to get from credit risk to there, it's not easy. Or you want to
Yes.
get into debt capital markets or equity capital markets, it's not easy. So I would say that role is restrictive in that sense that it would become more and more difficult to get out. And I would tell you the reasons.
Hmm.
See, those roles are already very difficult to get into. So the
Yeah.
chances are always less. And if you want to get into any other role, for example, corporate finance,
Hmm.
firstly, you will lose all your technical accounting knowledge, because in corporate finance,
Yes.
you would require, accounting knowledge, India's knowledge, which would not be required in this domain. And secondly, they are paying you a hefty amount that the corporate finance guys will not be able
Cannot.
to match.
Yes. Right.
So those are the cons. If you don't like the profile, and if you want to exit the profile, it would become a challenge. And I've
Hmm.
seen people who are, suffering because of this.
Yes. Taking a shift is very difficult.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That is a really different perspective which I've heard. Thank you so much for giving the reality check, Keshav.
Yes, and
But
also one thing I would like also to cover, I just saw how
hmm.
AI is currently impacting these roles.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
would
Hmm.
say AI is, to be honest, impacting all of the roles.
Yeah.
Be it any role, be it marketing, be it copywriting, be it HR, be it finance. AI
Hmm.
is impacting all the roles. You see layoff news everywhere.
Yes.
So I would just say keep yourself updated. This is a challenge which we all are facing. So
Right.
it's not specific to any one domain. I would
Hmm.
just say कि जो छोटी कंपनीज हैं एंड जो अभी एआई में उतना इन्वेस्ट नहीं कर रही हैं वहां तुम्हारी जॉब सेफ है. बट इफ यू आर गोइंग टू वेरी बिग कंपनीज जो एआई में हेविली इन्वेस्ट कर रही हैं वहां पे एनी डे योर जॉब्स आर एट अ रिस्क.
Yes.
सो इफ यू वांट टू मिटिगेट दैट रिस्क स्टार्ट योर ओन बिजनेस.
Right. And your work life thing? Like,
And my work life things, I would say on a day-to-day basis, it's to be honest, equivalent to what people at Big Four are doing. It's
yes.
like 10, 11 hour thing on a
Hmm.
day-to-day basis.
Hmm.
On weekends, sometimes you work, sometimes you don't. And I won't
Okay.
say you are working like 8 to 10 hours a day. So it's like, you just need to complete one small thing, which will take you 4 hours. So you do that on your own. So on a
Okay.
day-to-day basis, it's like that 10 to 11 hours a day. It's
Yeah.
what is required. You don't have to, work till 12 to 14 or 16 hours a day. But
Hmm.
so that's all the BAU work which we do. But sometimes, when you are aligned on a deal, then which happens usually
Okay.
on a regular basis, then you need to give like
Hmm.
14 to 16 hours, or maybe if not that much, at least 12 to 14 hours a day.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. And many a times, like students and qualified CS also ask, so what certifications or skills do you need to apply for this profile? Like, did you get any kind of extra certifications on your resume which helped
No,
you?
no,
Okay.
I never had anything extra. I just cleared my CA. I never
Great.
had my CFA level 1 as well. I cleared that in November last year.
Okay.
So I was just a CA.
Great.
That's all.
That's a very good
But,
answer.
but yeah, but
Yeah.
I would just say that, CFA, you should do CFA if you are aiming for such profiles. CA
Okay.
plus CFA is a very good combination, which they
Hmm.
are looking for.
Okay.
Only CFA will never help you to get into such roles. You
Hmm.
need a CA at least, and then a CFA is a very good addition. You can
Hmm.
also think about getting an MBA because most of the people who are working in such roles are MBAs. And
Hmm.
by MBA, I mean from a top college, at least from the top 20 colleges. You can go to Google and get the list. And if you're
Okay.
going after CA, I would say get into some top five, six colleges only. Your
Okay.
degree is a very good degree,
Hmm.
but still you can think of getting into top 15, 20 MBA colleges.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
so that will help you to get into a 20-25 lakh per annum role,
Hmm.
which someone asked.
Hmm. Okay. And someone is asking like NISM courses. Do you have any idea regarding that? The stock market courses. Do they help
Yeah,
us in landing?
it's helpful. It's I won't say it's useless. It's
Hmm.
helpful, but to be honest, it's not a requirement.
Okay.
So I would say the NISM courses are more helpful if you are
Hmm.
getting into the stock market roles. So
Okay.
investment banking roles are not stock market roles.
Hmm.
Stock market roles, I would say, are like the wealth management roles or the equity research roles where you are covering Indian stock markets.
Okay.
There are many companies, many financial companies who offer such services. So NISM courses or some mutual fund houses as well, which offer these. For example, Aventus is one of them. Ambit is one of them. So
Okay.
I don't know others know about it or not, but Sai, you must have idea about these companies.
Which one did,
So
can you please repeat them again?
Ambit,
Okay.
Aventus. So
Okay.
these are few of the companies who offer. They are like boutique IB companies as well. They offer
Okay.
equity research services. They offer wealth management services. So
Okay.
these courses are specially for wealth management roles, the NISM certifications.
Hmm.
One or two of them are for other purposes as well, but mostly they are for wealth management purposes, and their requirements and those mutual fund houses or such roles as well. Those roles are also very good roles. You
Okay.
get a lot of money in those roles. So, but they are not investment banking. I won't say that they
Okay.
are wealth management roles.
Okay. Okay.
I'll add something here about NISM courses. Uh, Actually, the ones who do them are usually people who are already working in these roles. And SEBI has regulations sometime that if you're facing the Indian stock market in some capacity, whether
Hmm.
you're providing recommendations or you're a mutual fund distributor, for example, so there are very specific courses that you need to do on maybe an annual or every 2 years basis
Hmm.
for you to be able to qualify to still be giving. So it's sort of
Yes.
like a license,
Yes.
more than yeah, maybe every 3 years, yeah. So
Hmm.
it's sort of like a license more than anything else. So I think purely focusing on uh, doing those certifications for getting a role might not be the best idea, because they don't
Hmm.
really care about that. They care
Hmm.
more about your technical skills and
Yeah,
other stuff. These are usually more regulatory things.
I get it. Yeah,
That's all.
right. Those are more related to the stock market rather
Yes.
than
Thanks
Yes.
IB.
for adding,
Yeah.
Harshita.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for adding that, Harshita. And yes, and what extra skills do you develop like working on this profile? After you have joined this particular profile, what did you like? What are the tools do you use? And also the skills which you developed, Keshav. So can you take us through that?
So I would say the skills and the tools. So firstly, as you asked for the tools, Bloomberg is one of the tool which we are using.
Okay.
Then FactSet,
Okay.
and then there's S&P's tool, Capital IQ. So these
Okay.
three tools are used on a day-to-day basis. So these are
Okay.
more or less researching rules,
Hmm.
researching tools which help you to research about a company. They have a lot of public and private data which is not easily available over internet, and they
Hmm.
help you to analyze that data in a very easy structured manner.
Okay.
If you
Okay.
ask me for what are the skills which I have learned about analyzing, how to analyze a company, uh, how to look at an industry. So we also have a team which helps us to get the equity research to us.
Hmm.
So they are
Okay.
from various investment banks or from various equity research houses. So,
Okay.
reading those reports, understanding about how a company, a business, and the industry is performing, it's a very important skill which CAs don't have. CAs know how to make accounts, but
Hmm.
CA don't have any idea on how to analyze those accounts.
Okay.
So
Good
that's
point.
thus,
Hmm.
see, making accounts is being automated in today's world. You know how entries are being, entered up in SAP. Nowadays, you don't need to go on SAP and manually add entries. It's now done through Excels, and how much they are automated these days in big organizations. So you need a person to analyze a company rather than, make accounts. So that's a skill. Then modeling is one of the skills which I've learned
Yeah.
here. So modeling is another skill. So valuation modeling
Hmm.
is one more skill which I've learned. So these are more or less the skills which I've learned. Apart from the usual skills which you will learn in every role, stakeholder management and everything.
Okay. Okay. So, audience are asking some questions regarding the certification courses as we have just discussed regarding it. So, Harshita, do you have any idea regarding the certification courses apart from what Keshav has said? Is Harshita there?
I would say one more course, FRM, is there if you want to
Okay.
get into risk management.
Okay.
So one is that. Apart from that, to be honest, see, I won't be luring you into doing a lot of certifications
Hmm.
because they are not valued by the companies. If you
Ultimately,
are doing,
it's the professional
yeah,
course
if
which
you
is
are
going to
doing
be
some
valued.
small courses, they are, to be honest, not valued by the companies.
Hmm.
CA, MBA, and CFA are three of the top courses that are
Hmm.
valued by the companies.
Great.
And if you are getting into risk management course like credit risk or any sort of market risk, credit risk, then
Hmm.
of course you can always go for FRM. But
Yeah.
apart from that, I won't say that, other courses are too much valued
Hmm.
there. And Sai,
Okay.
you would agree with me that, these courses like
Yes. 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 Yes.
financial modeling, small courses on financial modeling or Excel, and they are just used as fillers in your CV, but
Yeah.
they would not land you up in jobs.
Yes. Right. I perfectly agree with it, Keshav. And many CA finalists, like once they get into articleship, they start
Mm.
thinking about industrial training as well.
Uh-huh.
So many have a craze that I want to get into right from industrial training itself. They want to get into
Mm.
IB. So
Mm.
do you see people in JP Morgan or other investment banks like CA articleship students pursuing IB in like industrial training in IB? Like, is it
So
possible?
Harshita was one of the people, I guess she has left the meeting by now. But she
Okay,
was one of the people who was doing her articleship in Morgan Stanley, like the industrial training in
okay,
Morgan Stanley.
okay,
I have seen people pursuing this broader field.
okay.
So you will see. So I would say many of the times,
Hmm,
either you will get into good roles in big investment banks,
hmm.
but there are times when these investment banks are also offering controllership roles.
Okay,
So every role is not into IB.
IB, yeah,
Remember that.
yeah.
Secondly, there are small boutique firms which also offers uh, industrial trainings in
Hmm,
I can say M&A, transaction advisory. These are all the I can say names which are used for these specific domains. Transaction advisory is
I
one of
get
the
it.
most common ones in CA firms. Then M&A is another one.
Hmm.
But then I would always say if you're going for industrial training, you need to keep a balance between brands and the roles
Yes,
because
yes.
after clearing CS, brand would play a very big role.
Hmm,
And even if your role is a shitty role, and if you are with a good brand, this
yes.
is what I have seen till now, that
I agree.
companies give a bigger preference to your brand than your role.
Yes, I agree. Hmm.
So
That's
that's the thing. If you think you have a Big Four articleship experience, so like when people ask me whether to get into Big Four or not, I just ask them if you are thinking about getting into jobs after CA, go for a Big Four articleship because when I was applying into roles,
hmm.
many of the roles specifically asked me whether I am a Big Four article or not, and that was a requirement.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
they
yeah.
wanted to
Even
have
I
a
have
Big Four.
seen. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Big Four articleship or an industrial training. So these two
Yeah,
were like, and HRs filter, even if it's not a mandatory requirement, HRs do filter.
yes.
सबसे पहला फिल्टर यही लगता है कि फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में किया या नहीं किया सेकंड फिल्टर लगता है बिग फोर से
Big Four.
आर्टिकलशिप करी या नहीं करी है if they are
Right.
getting 500 resumes they can't look at all the resumes they they have these two filters कि 500 से 50 पे आ जाए
That's a very harsh truth, but yes, that's going on in the market, guys. That's very much truth. If you are getting a
yes
Big Four articleship, just go for it later on. It will definitely add value for you. That's 100%. You're definitely going to get a shift into the industry or practice or whatever you want. But if you're getting Big Four, just go for it. You will always
yes
have an edge. And
yes
we are almost about to end. And yeah, coming to your training, like which JP Morgan offered for you in the New York. You went for 6 weeks and you had a terrific training. So yes, can you give us insights like what did you learn and how was it? How was the experience of having such an amazing training,
yeah so
Keshav?
it was a training on investment banking so we have a 6 weeks of investment banking training in New
Okay.
York
Okay.
so they taught us so all the new analysts from the globe
Hmm.
from the broader IB domain, the front end bankers, DCM, ECM, and
Hmm.
the IB creditors guys. We
Hmm.
were like around 400, 300, 400 people who were there.
Great.
And we had a investment banking training. So it covered, firstly, it covered accounting. So because,
Hmm.
most of the people are MBAs there, they don't have a detailed idea about what accounting is, how it
Yes.
does work, and which is
Yes.
a very important aspect for us in valuations
Hmm.
and understanding the company. So 1 week was that. Secondly, it was like a detailed training on valuation, then modeling. Then there were different things like small things that were also covered. So,
Yeah.
but broadly, it was accounting, valuation, modeling.
Okay.
These three were there.
Okay. 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 Thank you, Keshav. And final question from my side before I take up audience question from the chat box. I think mostly Harshita has answered. She has reduced my work
Hmm.
almost 80% in the chat box.
Yes.
Yes, my final question would be, what tips would you give the aspirants who are aiming for IB profile? What roadmap do you suggest to help them land in the profile they are aiming for? Like what are the points which you suggest ultimately which will help
Okay.
them? Yeah.
So see, if firstly complete CA, if you are pursuing that.
Yes.
If you are not, then I will tell you another roadmap. But if you are a CA aspirant, which most of our audience would be, then
Hmm.
pursue CA, complete it.
Hmm.
Try to complete it in the first attempt. If you can, try to get into a Big Four for articleship if you can.
Hmm.
I was never a Big Four article, but I still got into it. But I would say try to get into that. Try to get an industrial training experience.
Hmm.
And if you even after that, or if you are not able to, tick mark all that, and even after that you're not able to get into IB, I would suggest you start start your job anywhere else into a related role. One would be stat audit.
Okay.
That's the easiest one in which you can get.
Hmm.
Secondly would be financial due diligence, a
Hmm.
bit harder than audit. Thirdly, I would say get into valuations. There are many companies that offer roles into valuations.
Hmm.
Thirdly, it would be that. And
Okay.
then if you like those roles, very good. If you don't like those roles, start applying for, into investment banks, into these roles, or and where I would say the chances would be higher
Okay.
is start appearing for CAT or
Okay.
GMAT, whatever you
Hmm.
like. If you
Hmm.
want to stay in India, appear for CAT, don't appear for GMAT. If you want to settle outside, appear for GMAT.
Yeah. Hmm.
And aim for the top colleges, get into them from there. And why I'm saying this, from there, firstly, they help you to get placed. That's their headache, not yours, to get a placement. They will work
Right.
harder, and your profile is better than others because you're already a chartered accountant, you have experience in finance. So, getting into, I would say, such roles would be easier for you. I have
Hmm.
seen in roles like front-end traders, front-end investment bankers. I have seen the combination of CFA plus, oh, sorry, CA plus an MBA from,
Top B
I am
schools.
ABC, a
Yeah.
very common combination. So
Okay.
many of the people who are working in those profiles are CA, and then they do their MBA from the top MBA colleges. Because see, in MBA colleges, you would get a pool of like 60-70% IIT plus IIM guys
Yes.
who don't have idea about finance
Hmm.
at that moment.
Hmm.
Then you would get, very less CAs. Then there are uh, normal BCom DU graduates are there, and all sorts of people are there. So having a CA, or being, or along with CA, if you clear 1 or 2 levels of CFA and then you're going for an MBA, that that gives you a very strong profile.
Okay. Like, yeah, these are the points like which would help a lot. Yes, MBA is one thing which will definitely help Keshav.
Yes.
Uh, and yes,
And if you are, I would say, if you want, and if you are aiming after CA, I would say start applying for such roles. People are not applying to such roles thinking that
hmm.
they won't be shortlisted,
Yes.
and then they get shortlisted for such roles. So
Yes.
I would
Yes.
say keep applying. You don't know where your luck would work for
Yeah.
you and
Right.
you would get into something like that.
Right.
So I would just say, even if you have attempts, even if you don't have any sort of Big Four articleship, even if you don't have a fancy profile, keep
Hmm.
applying, try to get a referral and keep applying. You don't know at which stage you would be shortlisted for such roles, and work on your CVs, work on your interview, like prepare for your interviews. If you are giving 5 years to your CA, you're
Yes.
rigorously working for that. The
Yes.
most common mistake which I see people doing is not preparing enough for your interviews and not giving enough time on your CVs.
Hmm.
When I need to update my CV, I give it around a week to, update my CV. You need to do that. You
Quick
can't
tip.
just take your CV very
Because
lightly.
that is a first impression, guys.
यस,
Yeah.
मतलब आपका सीए काम ही नहीं करेगा अगर आपका सीवी अच्छा नहीं है तो। आपने
Hmm.
5 साल सीए को दे दिया, 5 दिन तो दो अपने सीवी को।
Right.
एंड देन आई हैव सीन मेनी पीपल who especially for fresher CAs,
Hmm.
they are underprepared for the interviews. That's a very common thing which I've seen in CAs. They are
Right.
underprepared for the interviews. They think कि जो हम आर्टिकलशिप में देखते थे कि हमें तो अभी इंडेक्स पढ़ाया ही नहीं है, we don't know
Hmm.
anything about इंडेक्स, but
Hmm.
you already know that you can be asked question on इंडेक्स। कम से कम
Yes.
बेसिक नॉलेज लेके जाओ। नाउ व्हेन दे आस्क यू अबाउट वैल्यूएशन एंड एवरीथिंग, यू आर लाइक मुझे हमें तो इतना ही पता है। एंड आई हैव सीन पीपल डूइंग दैट इन इंटरव्यूज सेइंग दैट वी वर टॉट ओनली दिस मच इन सीए, एंड दैट्स नॉट द आंसर you should be giving. If you are sitting for any interview, JD आपके पास है, चैट जीपीटी पे डालो, it will tell you what all you need to study for that role. You should study for that role. You can't just say that I don't. If you say that I don't know, they will not hire you. And if you are saying that we were not taught this in our CA, then they are definitely not going to hire you.
Yes.
मतलब नहीं आता होगा, that would work, but आप ये बोलोगे कि हमें तो नहीं पढ़ाया ये, तो बिल्कुल
No,
आपको
no.
हायर नहीं किया
That's not
जाएगा।
an excuse. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. This one answer has like pura cover कर दिया, like all the doubts which audience were having. Like you answered it in one go, Keshav. Thank you so much for the briefing. And most of the audience questions are answered with this one particular question. I was just going through all the questions. And I
Mhm.
think Harshita, thank you so much, Harshita, for answering all the questions in the chat box. Means a lot. And there is, I think, one question.
Mhm.
One, see, if you see the chat box, in the recent one student has written that he's a tier 3 MBA college student. He has done his
Uh-huh.
internship in venture capital, also having
Okay.
hands-on experience on due diligence, valuation, pitch deck, and he has hosted meetings for clients and investors during internship. So can I get a call from JP Morgan if I applied for entry-level jobs like analyst or associate? Only just MBA, I think. Will it help from a tier 3 MBA college?
I don't
Keshav?
know, to be honest. See, Sai, you have been in the
Yeah.
industry, so you know this
Yeah.
question can be answered by us. But I would just say it's difficult, but
Yeah.
it is always possible. There is
Yeah.
no straight answer to this that I can
Yes.
say
It
or not.
depends. There is
It
no particular.
always depends upon
Depends.
the situation. You can always get into it. I know
Yes.
many people who will be having more knowledge than me and who are not getting calls from JP Morgan.
Hmm.
They have more practical experience. They are directly working with the VCs and still not getting calls from top investment banks.
Yeah.
To be honest, there are many things which they look at, not only
Hmm.
your. So, especially I'm telling you, if it's a tier 3 MBA college, firstly,
Yes.
entry level jobs means what? Because JP Morgan has a lot of roles which people don't
Hmm.
know. I don't know. So there are multiple, there are around 100, different roles which they have. Analyst or associate is just a position like a manager or senior manager. It's like that. But there will be many positions. If you're asking about, getting into IB analyst, it won't be that easy because the front end
Hmm.
IB analysts are hired from IM ABC only.
Yes.
Even CAs are not hired. They
Hmm.
are getting packages of 1 crore in the starting.
Great.
So that's a very difficult role to get into. If you ask for
Hmm.
DCM and ECM as well, packages are more or less similar, if not same, like a
Hmm.
10-20% decline. if you are asking about my role, which is a credit risk analyst role,
Hmm.
the packages are like 30 lakhs per annum in the starting. And the people who are hired here are, uh, so this role requires a bit more manpower than those roles. So you will get 20, a batch of like 20, 25 people who are hired in an year. If not 25, to be honest, 15 to 20 people. And from that 20 people, 15 are MBAs from I am Indore, I am Kozhikode, FMS Delhi, IFT, MDI, all those tier one
Yeah,
MBA colleges.
yeah.
And rest, 3 to 5 people are CAs. That's all they hire.
That's a majority. Like it's almost domination, you can say.
Yes, and
Yes.
even when they're hiring laterally, they see these backgrounds, and they
Hmm.
mostly when they're hiring, they would be hiring from other investment banks like Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, MUFG, HSBC, Citi. You will see hirings from these big investment banks. Even I've
Yes.
seen hiring from ICICI, but in the
Hmm.
same profile. ICICI also have the same profile. They also pay the same to
Okay.
MBAs.
Okay.
To
Okay.
MBAs, they also hire CS, but they do not pay the same to CS.
Oh, ho, ho.
Yes.
That's a that's a very like very harsh reality, man.
Yes. So there are few companies who have this, but
Okay.
mostly when you will see the MNCs, they will not have the CA versus MBA thing.
Hmm.
So in most of them, like I know people working in HSBC, I know in JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, whatever they are paying to CAs, they would be paying to MBAs as well.
Okay, so we have 3 to 4 questions. Mehul has asked, I'm pursuing investment banking certification. Will this help? I have also completed MBA in finance. See, I think it has already been answered. Only the
And I don't
certificate
know which is this investment banking certification from where,
from
so I
where
don't
you
know.
have completed the MBA. So it has already been answered. The preferences of MBA colleges has been told by Keshav, and also only the certification won't help. Your professional courses will help, Mehul. So Shreyas has asked, sir, I'm doing my articleship in valuation domain. That's good. And want to join IB post CA. What kind of firms I need to target? Like boutique firms or big IB firms?
Both,
This okay,
like both you should target
okay.
I don't know. I think you should target all the firms when you are a beggar and not a chooser.
Hmm.
So first you get offer letters and then you choose. हो
Okay.
सकता है आप बिग आईबी फर्म्स को टारगेट करो, आपको बुटीक से आ रहा हो लेकिन वो ना आए क्योंकि आपने कभी अप्लाई नहीं किया।
Hmm.
सोचा आप बुटीक को ही खाली टारगेट करते हो एंड आपको जेपी मॉर्गन ले लेता बट आपने कभी अप्लाई नहीं किया। सो आई वुड से
Hmm.
टारगेट ऑल एंड जहां आपको मिले। सो if as you are already in valuation domain you would be having an idea about IB, so you know कितने सारे IB में roles हैं। So compare all those roles, compare the pros and cons, and then make a decision. Although, of course, big IV firms would always be
Hmm.
preferred, but then there are many good boutique firms which offer you a very, very good experience.
Great.
So, if given a chance, like it always depends on the role because in those boutique IV firms, you can get into front end investment banking, for example, Aventus, as I said.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
सो अगर आपको अवेंडस में फ्रंट एंड आईबी मिल रहा है वर्सेस आपको जेपी मॉर्गन में क्रेडिट
Backend.
रिस्क आईबी क्रेडिट रिस्क मिल रहा है, तो मैं कहूँगा फ्रंट एंड आईबी जाओ अवेंडस में।
Yeah.
इट 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 डिपेंड्स, बट आप अगर यही बोलो कि मुझे किसी स्मॉल या मतलब मिड साइज सीए फर्म में जो बुटीक फर्म है उसमें मेरे को ट्रांजैक्शन एडवाइजरी में मिल रहा है
Hmm.
वर्सेस आपको जेपी मॉर्गन में आईबी क्रेडिट रिस्क मिल रहा है, सो ऑफ कोर्स आईबी क्रेडिट रिस्क इज बेटर।
Okay.
सो इट वुड डिपेंड अपॉन योर ऑफर्स।
Okay.
What are the changes happening in investment banking? What skills do you think young professionals should build to stay relevant?
Hmm.
Have an idea about markets. It always helps.
Yes.
I would say try to get an experience into valuation and modeling. It will
Hmm.
give you an edge over others. You can say that in your interviews if you are shortlisted. Even अगर आपको certifications करनी है तो आप करो फिर valuations में, modeling में, that would help you, even Python ऑल्दो पाइथन इतना ज्यादा कोई आपको फायदा नहीं होगा, बट if you are done with valuation and financial modeling, then Python
Hmm.
can be one. That's all. Apart
Great.
from the big courses, I always say do solid courses rather
Rather
than
rather than
focusing more on small certifications.
certifications. Yes. Right.
Yes. Does
And
investment
do
banking nano degree will help?
hmm.
Yeah, you were saying something, Sai.
Yeah, I was about to say the same question. Do you have any idea regarding that investment banking nano degree?
I don't know what is nano degree.
I don't
Like,
know.
I don't
Okay.
know what investment banking nano degree is. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm pursuing PGDM as well. I would just say if you're doing PGDM from a very good college, it will always help. If
Okay.
you're not doing it from a very good college, that tier two, tier three, MIT kind of Sharda, MIT kind of a college, it will not help at all. As
Okay.
straightforward as I can be.
Okay.
I am a SY BCom student from Pune. I guess SY is symbiosis, if I'm not
Okay.
wrong. That's in
Mm-hmm.
Pune.
Mm-hmm.
What's your opinion on equity research role? Equity research analyst is a very good role. If you're getting into it, go for it. It's a
Okay.
very, very good role. It
Yeah.
it gives you a idea about how markets are working. It
Mm.
can easily help you to get into IB.
That's great. That's great.
Does audit law tax question asked in valuation domain interview? For articleship, they can be asked. For jobs, they will not be asked at all.
Okay.
How
Okay.
can I start preparing for MBA? How much minimum work experience is good? 2 years is called the golden period of
Hmm.
work experience. So after 2 years, you should go for MBA. And by that, I do not mean that after 2 years you should start preparing for MBA. You should appear for your CAT after 2 years. So after 1.5 years of experience, 2 years, you should be appearing for your CAT because
Great.
MBAs would start in May. Then can we go to IB after doing IPO certification, work and experience? You can get into IB after doing whatever, but I have already told you what
Yes.
they
Yes.
prefer.
Yes.
It's an
Yes.
online degree from Jobaj Learning. It will भाई मैं सच बता रहा हूँ ये सब मत करो पैसे और वेस्ट
Yeah.
टाइम।
वही तो बात है. Like focus on the
भाई
big
अपने
degrees,
पैसे
guys.
तुम्हारे माँ बाप ने या तुमने
Yeah.
बहुत मेहनत से पैसे कमाए हैं। ये ऑनलाइन डिग्रियां मत करो, इससे कुछ भी नहीं होगा।
कुछ नहीं
एज
होगा.
सिंपल एज दैट।
Yes. Focus on the big degrees, complete it in the as much as limited time period, guys. Like just focus on the big things. Uh,
मेहनत कर सकते हो तो करो। लाइक सी आई एम
yes.
नॉट सेइंग आईबी सबके लिए है। सो
Hmm.
आई वोंट से कि सबको जंप करना चाहिए आईबी के लिए, बट एज सिंपल
Yes.
एज दैट अगर तुम्हें लगता है दैट यू हैव द ब्रेन्स, यू हैव द हार्ड वर्क टू डू इट, तो तुम
Yes.
कैट भी निकाल लोगे, तुम सीए भी निकाल लोगे।
Hmm. Hmm.
उसके लिए मेहनत लगेगी। अगर तुम मेहनत नहीं कर पा रहे, सो और वो तुम्हें भी पता है, सो डोंट एम फॉर आईबी or don't
Yes.
aim for good roles if you cannot do hard work. And if you can do it, leave everything apart, study for 6 months, appear for CAT, you can do it.
Yes.
It does not matter कि तुम पहले कैसे थे पढ़ाई में, अब कैसे हो। कैट में तुमसे कुछ भी नहीं पूछते हैं। 4 सब्जेक्ट्स होते हैं कैट के, तुमसे उतना ही पूछते हैं। उसके लिए अगर तुम मेहनत करोगे तुम निकाल सकते हो। एज
Yes.
सिंपल एज दैट। ज्यादा टाइम
Yes.
चाहिए, 1-1.5 साल लगा के कैट दो अच्छे से, नो वन इज स्टॉपिंग यू।
Yeah.
As I cleared my CA final in May 25, can I get into IB role as a fresher? Yes, I also got into the same. Hi
Yes.
Keshav, I'm 18 years old, passed out of 12th, currently interning as client relationship manager and intern. My question is, what is the minimum skills? भाई पहले मतलब it's very good that you are doing this. इससे you will get an idea about stock markets and all. But
Hmm.
at the same time, focus on your studies as well. I don't know
Yes.
if it's a requirement like from your financial side to do this, but
Hmm.
if it is not, doing internship is very good with college. But do your bachelor's, do your MBA or master's or CA, whatever you want to pursue, and this role will help you to get into equity research or IB, but directly to नहीं जा पाओगे without any good degree. You
Hmm.
need to do a good degree and this will boost your profile. But this is
Yes.
not कि आपको वहां पे ले जाएगी. So
Yes.
that's what I say. MBA or CAs are the two degrees which will help you to get into these roles. But
Hmm.
CFA or
FRM, you
good
said.
internship
Hmm.
experiences or FRM, would boost your profile into getting into such roles. But you
Hmm.
need to have a solid
CA
course like
academic
MBA or
background.
CA.
Yes.
MBA or CA.
Yes.
Can you suggest any teacher who guide us for financial modeling? यार ये मैंने कभी टू बी ऑनेस्ट कोर्स नहीं किया है।
Okay.
यूट्यूब पे जाके कोर्स मिल जाएगा। इवन थोड़ा सा रिसर्च करो। आई लाइक मैंने कभी
Yeah.
फाइनेंशियल मॉडलिंग पे कोई कोर्स नहीं किया है, तो आई डोंट नो।
Yeah. See,
आई गेस संजय
some.
सराफ सर या अश्विनी बजाज
Hmm.
सर करवाते होंगे
You
शायद,
get,
बट
yeah, you get it from the basic research on internet.
यस
And yeah, we are having some unrelated questions apart from our topic
आई
of
क्लियर माई
discussion.
सीए इंटर, अभी कर ही लेते हैं जो है। जितना
Hmm.
भी टाइम है, लाइक किसी को छोड़ के जाना मीटिंग चले जाओ, जिसकी क्वेश्चन है मैं फटाफट आंसर कर देता हूँ 2-4 मिनट में।
देख
आई
लो.
क्लियर माई इंटर इन
Yeah.
फिफ्थ अटेम्प्ट, हाउ मच चांसेस? आई डोंट नो हाउ मच चांसेस। अप्लाई करो, हो सकता है मिल जाए, चांसेस थोड़े कम हैं बट ट्राई करते
Hmm.
रहो। कैन आई
Hmm.
गेट अ रेफरेंस फॉर आईबी रोल फ्रॉम योर एंड? यस यू कैन गेट अ रेफरेंस, मुझे लिंक्डइन पे पिंग कर देना, मैं रेफर
Hmm.
करवा दूंगा।
Great, great.
What resources or reports would you suggest for me to start understanding equity research better? डेली जी बिजनेस खोल के बैठ जाओ, अनिल सिंह भी को सुनो, थोड़ा बहुत समझ आने लगेगा।
Hmm.
फिर गूगल पे जाओ, इक्विटी रिसर्च रिपोर्ट खोलो, किसी भी रैंडम की जो भी फ्री मिलती है देखो क्या होता है, और फिर एनुअल रिपोर्ट्स खोलो कंपनीज के, पूरी पूरी एनुअल रिपोर्ट पढ़ो। सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट होता है मैनेजमेंट डिस्कशन वाला पार्ट, जो बिल्कुल एनुअल
Yes.
रिपोर्ट के स्टार्टिंग में होता है।
Hmm.
उसको पढ़ो, उसमें कंपनी लिखती है कि हम क्या करने वाले हैं। फाइनेंशियल अकाउंट्स देखो कैसे क्या चल रहे हैं, क्वार्टरली प्रेजेंटेशंस देखो, ट्रांसक्रिप्ट्स देखो। ये सब कुछ पब्लिकली अवेलेबल इंफॉर्मेशन होती है कंपनी के इन्वेस्टर रिलेशन पोर्टल पे, वहां से जाओ देखो।
Great.
बाकी लोग एक दूसरे का लिंक्डइन मांग रहे हैं। व्हाट इज
Relation.
द क्रूशियल स्किल्स दैट बिग फोर सी इन यू फॉर आर्टिकलशिप? तुम इंग्लिश कैसी बोलते हो, इतना ही देखते हैं वो।
Right.
एज
Theoretical
सिंपल एज
knowledge.
दैट,
Theoretical
वो
knowledge तो
इतना ही
रहता ही
देखते हैं।
है ऐसे तो.
थियोरिटिकल नॉलेज तो तुम अगर इंटर क्लियर करके आए हो तो होनी चाहिए
हाँ,
तुम्हें, वो
होनी
मैं
चाहिए.
ऑटो अज्यूम करके चल रहा हूँ।
That's
बट
what.
अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, तुम इंग्लिश अगर सही से बोल लेते हो वहां पे जाके, टू बी ऑनेस्ट तुम्हें ले लेते हैं वो।
Yes.
बस तुम्हारी कॉल्स नहीं आती हैं, वो दिक्कत होती है। मैंने बहुत
Uh,
ट्राई किया था, मेरी कॉल नहीं आई थी।
Guys, if you have doubts regarding Big Four articleship, इसके पहले previous episode मेरा episode 8, it was on Big Four articleship only. मेरा YouTube चैनल में जाके देख लेना, उसमें पूरा आपको मिल
हाँ,
जाएगा प्रॉपर
इसने
एकदम.
वंशिका ने लिया था, जैन वंशिका का था, किसका
दिवान
था?
दिवांशी एंड लक्षिता का था. दिवांशी जैन एंड लक्षिता गुप्ता का था. वंशिका एंड
मैंने तो
जयवर.
देखो
जयवर
एफडीडी।
फ्रॉम एफडीडी प्रोफाइल. यस.
हाँ, तो यस, तो मैंने कभी बिग फोर
यस.
में आर्टिकलशिप नहीं करा है। कैसे मतलब, मैंने लोगों की लगवाई है तो मुझे थोड़ा बहुत आइडिया हो गया है। अब मुझे पता चल गया है कि लगती कैसे है, पहले मुझे पता नहीं था तो मैं नहीं जा पाया।
हाँ, काफी मतलब आजकल तो मिल ही जाता है इतना. हैवी
मतलब
वो
टू
नहीं
बी
है.
ऑनेस्ट, किसी को
हम्म.
ढूंढ लो जो बिग फोर में
बस.
मैनेजर लेवल पे काम कर रहा हो लिंक्डइन से, और उसके
हाँ.
पीछे पड़ जाओ, मेरे को आर्टिकलशिप लगवा दो, वो तुम्हारी अब
हो
कहीं भी लगवा देंगे।
लगवा देंगे बिग फोर का.
इतनी
सो.
मुश्किल नहीं है बिग फोर में आर्टिकलशिप होना, अगर आपको फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में इंटर निकला हुआ है तो।
हम्म.
और भाई
सो.
उसमें मैं भी एक चीज और बोलता हूँ, जो
हम्म.
लोगों ने, मैंने बहुत देखा है लोगों को करते हुए, डोमेन स्पेसिफिक ढूंढने लगते हैं। भाई मत ढूंढो।
मत
बिग
ढूंढो.
फोर में जिस डोमेन में मिलती है, इंटरनल ऑडिट, आईटी ऑडिट, फाइनेंशियल अकाउंटिंग, कर लो। मतलब आई हैव सीन पीपल डूइंग देयर आर्टिकलशिप इन फैस व्हिच इज फाइनेंशियल अकाउंटिंग डिवीजन।
या.
कर लो, बिग फोर का टैग मिल जाता है, सब चलता है। तुम्हें
हम्म.
आर्टिकलशिप में ही सब कुछ नहीं सीखना होता, इसलिए वो आर्टिकलशिप होती है।
दैट्स व्हाट.
यहाँ लोग सोचते हैं कि लाइफ लॉन्ग एक्सपीरियंस है, सारे ही आर्टिकलशिप में मिल जाए, उसके बाद तो कुछ सीखना ही नहीं, उसके बाद तो सीए बनने के बाद तो प्रोफेशनल हो
सीए
जाएंगे हम।
बनने के बाद तो अलग ही जर्नी शुरू होता है, वहां पे तो ऐसे
हाँ
काम करते हो जो आर्टिकलशिप में कभी किया ही नहीं.
हाँ, तो
यस.
प्रिंट आउट भी निकाल के लाता हूँ, तो ये मत सोचो वो सारे काम खत्म हो जाए, अपने आप ही लेके आने पड़ते हैं। सीए बनने का तुम ही सबसे जूनियर होते हो, क्योंकि
राइट, राइट. सो.
एज अ क्रेडिट रिस्क एनालिस्ट, हाउ डू यू एनालाइज बिजनेस बियॉन्ड कंप्लाइंस एंड नंबर्स? यार, अंडरस्टैंडिंग बिजनेस में, एनालाइज बिजनेस में, ऑफ कोर्स एज आई टोल्ड, मैनेजमेंट कैसी है, शेयर होल्डरशिप कैसी है, प्रमोटर्स कौन है, क्या ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड रहा है कंपनी का, कोई नेगेटिव न्यूज तो नहीं फ्लोट कर रही, ठीक है, रीसेंट राउंड ऑफ कोई फंडिंग उठाई है, इन्वेस्टर्स का क्या ट्रस्ट रहा है कंपनी में, किस किस बैंक के साथ रिलेशनशिप है, कौन कौन से बैंक ट्रस्ट करते हैं कंपनी पे। अगर फॉर एग्जांपल उस कंपनी की एचएसबीसी के साथ रिलेशनशिप है, सो यू ऑलरेडी हैव एन आइडिया कि एचएसबीसी अगर लोन दे रहा है उस कंपनी को, ठीक ठाक होगी। ऐसे ही
हम्म
HSBC या सिटी या कोई भी आई वुड से कोई भी MNC बैंक नहीं देगा। देखो इंडियन बैंक्स कंपनी को जरूर देंगे, क्योंकि उनका रिस्क बहुत हाई चलता है। वो किसी को भी यार, इंडियन बैंक से अगर इंडियन कंपनीज के साथ रिलेशनशिप नहीं रखेंगे तो कौन रखेगा।
हम्म
बट उसमें भी आप देखो, अगर HDFC ICICI ने दे रखा है तो थोड़ा सा ट्रस्ट फैक्टर बिल्ड करता है कंपेयर टू AU स्मॉल फाइनेंस बैंक।
यस
तो ये सब चीजें देखनी पड़ती हैं। एंड
राइट
हाउ, मतलब फिर देन यू स्टार्ट लुकिंग एट हाउ द इंडस्ट्री इज परफॉर्मिंग, किस इंडस्ट्री में है, कितनी बड़ी इंडस्ट्री है, उसमें इनका मार्केट शेयर क्या है, आर दे मार्केट लीडर्स इन देयर इंडस्ट्री और नॉट। और अगर मार्केट लीडर्स नहीं है तो क्या पोजिशनिंग है, कितना एक्सपैंड हो सकता है ये बिजनेस। So recently I was doing M&A for a company which is similar to which was a combination of Zomato and Uber in Singapore.
ओके ओके ओके
So it's the biggest company there in Southeast Asia, and it was acquiring another smaller company which was a market leader in one or two countries. So
ओके
वहाँ पे ये सब कुछ तुम्हें देखना पड़ता है। You know how this market is and how it is growing post COVID. तो तुम्हें बहुत
हम्म
कुछ देखना पड़ता है। Then you see, numbers, modeling, वो सब तो तुम्हें देखना ही है। But if you are asking me about business, so yes, all these things, then you refer to what equity research reports say. There are industry reports which you get. So ये सब तुम्हें मिलता है from various sources. तो वो पूरी industry reports होती है about how the industry is performing. So you get an idea about the industry, because you cannot have idea or expert knowledge about every industry. क्योंकि डेली डिफरेंट डिफरेंट इंडस्ट्रीज के बारे में पढ़ना पड़ता है, डिफरेंट डिफरेंट इंडस्ट्रीज की टास्क आती हैं।
हम्म या आई थिंक
What are the area in CV which is that is must or crucial? Every area in a CV, because भाई एक पेज का होता है, उसमें भी अगर तुम क्रूशियल एरियाज देखोगे तो मैं क्या बताऊं।
राइट
Do
एज
you have access to any private documents of a company? भाई ये इस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस आंसर करने,
ना
आई डोंट नो, बट प्राइवेट डॉक्यूमेंट्स होते हैं। आई डोंट नो तुम्हें ये कैसे हेल्प करेगा अपने जर्नी में, ये क्वेश्चन पूछ के। बट अगर अंदर से कभी कभी चुल होती है तो मैं बता रहा हूँ, बहुत सारे खाली MCA से नहीं होता, हम डायरेक्ट कंपनी से मांगते हैं प्राइवेट डेटा उनका।
एमसीए तक
तो
जाने का
MCA
जरूरत ही
पे तो
नहीं
पब्लिक
पड़ता
डेटा हो जाता है, कोई भी पैसे दे के निकाल
हाँ
सकता है।
हाँ
हाँ, MCA पे तो फीस दे के मैं किसी भी कंपनी का निकाल सकता हूँ। बहुत
हम्म
सारा प्राइवेट डेटा होता है जो कंपनी के पास होता है खाली, और वो वी गेट इट फ्रॉम द कंपनी।
डायरेक्टली एमसीए तक जाने का जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ता एक सीधा कंपनी ही दे देता है
हाँ मतलब यार, MCA पे तो कोई भी 200 रुपये 250 रुपये दे के कोई कोई
हाँ
भी डेटा निकाल ही सकता है ना। दैट डेटा इज
राइट
नॉट अ प्राइवेट डेटा, वो तो
राइट
पब्लिक डेटा है जहाँ पे आप फीस दे के निकाल
और एक
सकते
बार
हो।
कंपनी से एमसीए के पास आ
प्राइवेट
गया
डेटा
देन
वो डेटा होता है जो आपको मिल नहीं सकता।
राइट हाउ मेनी एम&ए डील्स हैव
हाउ
यू हैव
मेनी
बीन मेड
M&A डील्स हैव यू वर्कड ऑन? भाई मैं नहीं बता
नो नो
सकता, सॉरी,
गाइस
बट
दिस
बहुत
इज
सारी करी है, तब
कॉन्फिडेंशियल
बता
थिंग
सकता
you can't ask these things okay
हूँ। हाँ मतलब यार, मैं कितनी डील से काम करता हूँ, कौन से क्लाइंट से काम करता हूँ, ये सब मैं नहीं बता सकता भाई।
yeah
कैसे क्वेश्चन
just
सोचा है? क्वेश्चन पूछने से पहले तो सोचो तुम लोग क्या पूछ रहे हो।
yes
आस्किंग अ क्वेश्चन इज ऑल्सो एन आर्ट।
yes you have to ask the right question
आई गेस रैप
and
अप करते हैं यार ताई भाई।
yes I was thinking to wrap up only so guys kindly put your feedback in the chat box. It was a very long session. I didn't expect it to long that much, but thanks to Keshav for answering all the questions with so much patience and so much knowledge. Thank you so much for your time, man. It was truly commendable, your knowledge and your clarity on each and every question, each and every point. It really takes a lot of hard work, really takes a lot of uh, clarity. You have built it so much small time. I mean, yes, a long way to go. Thank you so much for your time. This session will be on YouTube also. If you guys think you have missed any point, please see it on my YouTube channel later. Thank you so much, audience, for being there. Almost all of you have been there right from the beginning, and thank you for the questions also, and also Harshita for answering the questions. So Keshav, before we wrap up the session, any words from you? Thank you so much, guys, for the feedback.
तो मैंने अपना इंस्टा डाला है, CA केशव गुप्ता, ऊपर वाली चैट में एक और की डल गया था मेरे से गलती से। फर्स्टली इट्स दैट। तो मेरा लिंक्डइन या इंस्टा पे अगर और भी कोई डाउट्स हैं, क्योंकि मैं देख रहा हूँ और भी लोगों के अब आ रहे हैं, So जो नहीं doubt हो आ पाए, and YouTube links I will share.
Yes,
So firstly, thank you so much, Sai Bhai, for inviting me. It
pleasure.
was really good to, get जैसा वो कपिल शर्मा शो वाली फील आ रही है मुझे कि मेरे को आपके शो पे आने का मौका मिला और मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है यहाँ पे आके.
Yes, yes,
So of course मुझे to be honest it was really good interacting with you after a long time. I guess
yes,
हम इंस्टा पे लिंक्डइन पे कभी कभी ऑन
yes,
एंड ऑफ बात कर रहे थे but not like this. So thank you so
yes.
much. Thank you
Uh,
so much for the audience.
if
So I
if
have
I have
अभी भी 25 लोग हैं यहाँ पे.
if I have your 1 minute more, can I ask you some fun rapid fire questions before we
Mm-hmm.
wrap up?
Yes.
Yeah, like some out of
Yes,
the
yes,
box
पूछो पूछो.
questions to just
Mm-hmm.
give entertainment to the audience. We have discussed a lot about knowledge, so let's audience also know about you. Even I too want to know. So, what's your favorite movie, man?
Yes. My favorite movie.
Yeah.
यार फेवरेट मूवी आई वुड से माय गो टू मूवी इज भूल भुलैया 1. मैं उसको
Oh.
बहुत बिंज वॉच किया है. इट्स नॉट समथिंग यार मेरे को पसंद आ रही है मूवी. आई डोंट नो व्हाई. सो आई हैव बीन
Okay.
बिंज वॉचिंग इट अ लॉट.
Okay. Okay. And your favorite senior at office, whom you admire?
My favorite senior at office. So my favorite senior, to be honest, is my manager. So he
Okay.
just became my manager this year. He was my
Great.
friend before that for like 1 year, and then he got promoted and became my manager.
Great.
So he is my favorite senior. We used to hang out a lot, party, go to gym. So we are
Hmm.
more like friends. So there are actually two people. One is him, and another is again one of my seniors who is also like at a similar position like this. So we three hang out a lot.
Great. 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 And your favorite song, man, which you listen
My
on
favorite
loop?
song. यार
Yeah.
मैं ये सब अब नहीं बता रहा. ये सब ज्यादा हो जाता है. मेरी सॉन्ग प्रेफरेंसेस थोड़ी खराब हैं. So I am not a very good song chooser. I listen to soft romantic Bollywood
Okay.
songs.
Yeah, that's
So
fine. Yeah.
yeah, so मैं उस टाइप के सॉन्ग सुनता हूँ.
Okay.
So which are not
Those are
that
good,
much
man.
Gen Zs. So मैं वो सॉन्ग सुन रहा हूँ अरिजीत सिंह के टाइप्स.
That's really good, man. That's a good choice. And your best achievement till date, which you think that yes, this made me really happy. The moment you cherish for the whole life.
Very emotional for me, my parents. So my biggest achievement would any day, even if you will ask me after 50 years, it would be becoming a chartered accountant.
Great, 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 great. A day like after years of hard work, that day makes you understand how much it means to us. I get it, man.
Yes.
Great. And your favorite food?
My favorite food, I would say I love, you know, North Indian cuisine, dal,
Okay.
paneer tikka, and even I like pasta and pizza a lot if you want to ask about
Great,
Western
great.
cuisine.
Great, great. Yeah. Thank you so much, man, for answering the rapid fire questions also. It was nice. So guys, we are wrapping up the session. Thank you so much for your time. It's almost 1 hour, 45 minute session. So means a lot. Sunday evening, the weekend evening, especially the man himself, Keshav Gupta. Thank you, man, for your time. So yeah,
Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you, Sai, for inviting me.
pleasure is mine. So I'm stopping the